Hey guys, welcome back to Go Outside and Play. I'm Sean Keir, and today we're going to be taking a look at some of the basics on how to get started on using a baitcaster rod. Now, I've just kind of recently been getting back into fishing, so really wanted to learn how to do bait casting, watched a bunch of YouTube videos, and I'm going to kind of show you and compile what I think are some of the better techniques to get you started and what I'm kind of using to show my kids how to use their bait caster. So first of all, I mean, you've probably seen some stuff where a bait caster is going to be a little bit different than a spinning rod, where the reel is perpendicular to the way the line coming out. What's important to notice about that is if you get the lure or your bait going really fast out and then it slows down either due to wind or hitting the water, the reel is going to keep spinning, and that's what's going to make the line come off of it and cause the backlash or birds nesting. So there's a couple different features on this one. This is this got to pronounce it right, Sugi Lang 7-to-1 gear ratioed baitcaster reel matched with their medium heavy rod. It's a real nice rod and reel combo, and just look at that. It is actually really pretty. Exposed carbon fiber wrap on it, so really strong two-piece construction. But anyways, back to getting it set up. A lot of times when you watch it and when you get good, you can see the lure out there. When you depress the thumb button, you want it to kind of just slowly drop. But if you're just beginning and starting out, I would say go ahead and take that tensioner right when you find this point where it's slowly dropping. Go ahead and give that a little bit more of a tightening up so that it actually doesn't drop. Now that's going to squeeze the drag. It's going to help prevent that reel from getting away from you if you're not used to thumbing the spool. It won't completely prevent it, but it's really going to help. And of course, set your, this one has magnetic. It doesn't have inertial braking system. So set the magnetic to a higher setting, and then with that you should be able to. Now, one of the first kind of moves that you're going to want to learn that's going to make it easier to get used to the timing. Oh, before I do that though, real quickly, notice I also used, because you can practice in your yard, I just used one of these rattles. I just took off the treble hooks on my lure, so you can go ahead and use that. You know, if you're going to be practicing like at your yard, at a park or whatever, make sure kids aren't around. If you use like a little weight, they're a little bit hard to see. So if you go to fling it and you're trying to get timing, it's a little bit hard to see. This one, by using an actual lure, it's a lot easier to see, able to judge. And then if you have any cats around, it's kind of fun for them to play around too. So with it a little bit tightened up, you can go ahead and do kind of just go in a circle motion and then fling it out to the side, so it's doing a little sidearm. And just make sure that you depress the thumb. So when you get kind of comfortable with that, what I kind of like to do is set up little targets around the house. Like there's a bucket out there. Go ahead and see how close you can kind of get it to hitting that bucket and see So after you get a little bit more comfortable with that, that's when you can kind of start to, you know, and whenever you go to make your adjustments, you want to turn your magnetic brakes all the way off. Click it. And then once you get familiar and get kind of used to it, now you want to start setting it so your weight starts to drop. And whenever you change any kind of lures or baits with your baitcaster, you're going to want to readjust the settings on there. There we go. And then just give it another shot. Remember, just a slight circle, and as you're coming, let it go. Now, when you start getting into doing the overhand cast, one of the things is keep your rod sideways. So with your thumb down, almost like you're gonna would be with your first finger on top. So then when you go, you're just gonna give it a whip. You're gonna start back at the 2 o'clock, release at the 10 o'clock. And then follow it down. Remember to keep a little bit of thumb pressure on the spool. That way it'll help keep it slowed down and it won't bird's nest on you. So go ahead and give that a couple shots. And one of the things that I like about bait casting or using a baitcaster rod is the ability to kind of slow it down. So certain things, like if you want to go and try to get as close as you can to like a bank or an opposite, like if you're in a boat and you want to get it next to some rocks, you know, you can kind of set up little objects. Like I have some black mats over there just to see how close I can get to them, you know, using my thumb to start braking, set the brakes on the spool, and then reel it back in. So I would recommend doing that, giving it a shot, seeing how well you can do. And if you're daring enough and you're ready for it, if you have something like a trampoline or sawhorses or something, you can see if you can cast underneath it. So to kind of imitate how branches or, you know, logs might be hanging over the side of a river or the lake. So give that a shot too. So those are just a couple of different things that you can do in your backyard, kind of help improve your skills casting. Now, if you do get a little bit of a backlash or a bird's nest, it's not the end of the world. It sucks, but I think it's better to happen here at home than and be able to be prepared for it than it would be to be out on the lake, especially if like you're gonna have a fish like come and actually be nibbling on your bait while you're stuck dealing with the backlash. So let's get one going here, and I'll kind of show you what I've learned on how to kind of quickly clear it up. So I hate doing this, but all right, we'll just send it out. Actually, it didn't work that time because I have everything all kind of dialed in a little bit dummy proof, so no backlash on that cast. I like this reel. Nice smooth reel too. Definitely recommend checking it out. I will do a little product demonstration on this because I've really been liking that. All right, so let's try that again. That's why it's starting to fix that. Okay. Oh, there's the backlash. So it kind of hit like a little snag. There you can see, got some backlash going on in there. So let's go ahead and clear that out. I haven't tripped the brake. Oh, now I just did. So go ahead and try to just pull as best as you can. Just go ahead and pull it out. Now when it stops and it gets bound up right there, back it up a little bit. Hopefully you can see this, and find out which pieces are causing it to get tripped up on, and just give them a little pull, and then keep going. Keep pulling it out. So that's how you can clear it up. You don't have to keep clicking on and off and squeeze the reel or jab wildly with it with your nail. What you're looking for is just when it gets bound up, when it gets choked on itself, just to pull those couple pieces of thread off, the couple pieces of line. And then once you're clear, go ahead and reel it back in. Remember to give it a little tension. So I like to kind of hold it and then reel it in while I'm pinching the line in between my finger. So that way it keeps it nice and tight on the reel. All right, so I hope all these little tips and tricks kind of helped you. Don't be intimidated by starting out on a bait caster. It's really not that difficult. Again, just kind of set the brake a little bit tighter so the lure doesn't just automatically drop. It'll kind of give you a little bit of leeway when you're thumbing the spool. And then of course remember to, before you set your adjustments on that, make sure you set your magnetic adjustments, or if you can, set your adjustments off. And then once you get it, the tension just how you want it, then you can turn them on. If you're just starting out, go with a higher setting like a 7 or 8, and then once you get good enough, then you can start backing them down. I'd probably just recommend backing off the tensioner here first, and then start backing the magnetic braking off, or if you're using centrifugal brakes, you know, start taking those off. So enjoy and have fun learning. So remember to hit that like button, click on subscribe if you want to see more stuff about outdoors, or product kind of reviews for outdoor stuff. Yeah, remember to go outside and play, even if it's in your backyard, casting around, catching a cat on your little fish lure. Just do it. Just go outside and play. Till next time, hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll see you guys again.